Gyre is one of the strongest nukers in Warframe. Entire rooms explode from a single crit. Lightning chains across the map, steel path enemies vanish instantly. So why do people still hate playing her? Because underneath all that damage, Gyre might be one of the most stressful frames in the entire game. Now, whenever players talk about Gyre, the same arguments will come up. She's too squishy, she's augment dependent, Overguard ruined her, she feels awful when Cathode Grace drops, all of that. And honestly, they're not entirely wrong. Because you see, at first glance, Gyre looks unstoppable. Electricity floods the entire room, enemies can't even fight back, numbers cover the screen non-stop. But the moment the kills stop, everything starts falling apart. If there's a room with too few enemies, then her timer starts to run down and eventually she has to re-pick it all back up. And if you're doing an endless mode where the enemies keep getting stronger and stronger, you start dying quicker and quicker. So keeping that damage up the entire time is very important. Now, this is one of the things that people don't like about her. She's too dependent on kills to even function. Now allow me to explain. If you head over to her abilities, one of the main things you need to nuke, actually, the entire thing you need to nuke, non-negotiable, is Cathode Current, the augment mod for Cathode Grace, her third ability. This augment makes it so when you eliminate an enemy while Cathode Grace is active, it will release an additional charge from Rotor's Well with 200% damage and extend its duration by the same amount. So essentially, so long as you get a kill while Cathode is activated, it will keep gaining duration per kill. And on top of that, Rotor's Well will as well. The more kills you get, the longer these two abilities will keep active, and Rotor's Well is her nuking ability. You just need the augment mod for Cathode Grace to make it happen. Now, her usual gameplay will go something like this. You will start off at the very start of a mission whenever there's enemies around. You'll activate Cathode Grace, get some kills to make sure that timer gets moved up, and then you can go ahead and activate Rotor's Well. Gather enemies up in a circle, and then start doing mad damage to them with your fourth ability. Now, if you're playing a build with Pillage and you have the energy to activate Pillage, you can do that, strip their armor and shields. You'll do a lot more damage because without armor, electricity does more damage to enemies. That is why most Gyre builds will be played with Pillage on. Or if you don't want to subsume anything, there's an augment mod called Arcane Circumvent. Roll through enemies and steal 30% of their defenses for yourself. Now that's at rank 1. At rank 5 is 50%, meaning you only have to roll through enemies twice to steal all their armor. So for builds that lack energy often, instead of using Pillage, they just use Arcane Circumvent. But now that is how she nukes, and as you could tell just by needing to get kills to increase her timer, she is quite literally kill dependent, almost as much as Harrow. In fact, maybe even more than Harrow, because she has no survivability unlike Harrow. Harrow can survive even if he runs out of enemies to kill. She has no natural survivability at all. She relies entirely on shield gating. With bad health, shields, armor, damage reduction, she needs shield gating to survive higher level content. If she doesn't have shield gating, by the time you enter even base steel path, you'll be dying pretty quickly. Unless you can nuke those rooms faster than they can kill you. So, constantly needing kills, no survivability. On top of that, being super augment dependent, she needs too many stats as well. Now, this isn't that uncommon. A lot of frames need a lot of stats. She needs 3 in total. You have to build up strength to be able to do all the damage. You need range for them to do damage in a good enough radius so you don't die by those outside of your range. And then she needs duration, because if you have no duration, then even if you're getting kills at a consistent rate, it's just going to run out a bit too quickly. And then on top of those, she needs survivability mods and then energy economy. It feels like it's all just too much, and it kind of is. If you want more survivability, you're going to have to sacrifice something else. If you want more energy economy, you're going to have to sacrifice something else, whether that's duration, strength, range, or just survivability. You're going to have to sacrifice something. It's rare you're gonna find a build that is perfect for Gyre. Now, I'm sure there's one out there, but it requires heavy movement. That is one of the things people don't like about her, is that she is far too active for a lot of the player base. Now, if you want an active frame, that's well and good, but she needs so much maintenance that it gets tiresome. You have to constantly maintain her third ability and her fourth ability, and if you fail to maintain her third ability, you are met with an absurdly long duration timer, such a long cooldown that you're practically dead if you let it drop. 40 seconds is insane. Your damage will drop exponentially, and in doing so, depending on your game mode, you could very well die right then and there. And the last reason I'm gonna mention is, ironically, the fact that she needs so many kills often means that she steals kills from others. So if you play a frame that needs kills like Harrow, and then there's a Gyre on your team, one of you are going to be competing for kills just to be able to maintain your own abilities. And whoever doesn't get those kills is obviously going to be pretty upset, especially if Gyre just comes in with Rotorswell 9000 and just blasts all of your kills away. It's not that big of a deal. There's obviously some contention between every single frame when you're playing a co-op game, but it can still get quite annoying when it does happen. And now, honestly, with that being said, that's pretty much just about it. The reasons I found were simply because she's a glass cannon, too dependent on kills to even function. Being augment dependent isn't that bad, but there are quite a few players that actually don't like having augments at all. They feel that most of them should just be worked into the Warframes kit, which I can completely understand. Augments are just band-aids that DE rolls out, and not everybody likes that. And so with that being said, that's just about it. So tell me, what do you think about Gyre? Do you love her? Do you hate her? Is there something I didn't mention about why people don't like her? I got most of this from region chat. I just ask around and I take what I can get. There were quite a few other reasons, but these were the main ones that I felt actually had some validity to it, where they weren't completely asinine. So tell me, what do you think about her? And with that being said, until next time.